Hello there, this video will cover installing and running various forms of chess for Linux on Chromebooks and PCs. This will include chess, Xiangqi, which is how I think it's pronounced, which is also known as Chinese chess, and Shogi, which is also known as Japanese chess. This is a Media Blitz format that will allow me to share topics faster and keep pace with frequently updated topics. My channel focuses on adding the power of Linux to your Android, Chromebook, or PC without the need to root or remove your system. Additionally, I cover cross-platform topics. My playlists are available from the homepage on my YouTube channel and are organized by operating system and cross-platform topics. To make it easier to follow along with my videos, I include the full written instructions in the pinned comment. So if you scroll down to the comments of the current video you are watching now, you will see the top pinned comment containing the written instructions. To see the whole comment, click on Read More. Any updates will be noted at the top of the pinned comment. Note that you can copy and paste the notes into a text file like I have here with the mousepad text editor. Or, if you're feeling fancy, we can copy and paste the notes into a TiddlyWiki notebook, also known as Flexible Offline Searchable Notes. Here, I pressed the backtick key from the top left of the keyboard so that there are 3 backticks before and after the text. This will apply monospaced block formatting. Keep in mind that you can modify the notes however you'd like, whether that's formatting, adding images, or changing what's in the notes. For more information on TiddlyWiki, I recommend watching my TiddlyWiki videos. That concludes the intro, now onward to the video. First, we are going to start with this version of chess. To get this, we can install Brutal Chess. To install Brutal Chess, I will be using Synaptic Package Manager. When Synaptic opens, we can click on the Reload button from the top left to update the list of available software. When that's done, we can click on the search button from the top right, and then we can search by name for Brutal Chess. When Brutal Chess comes up, we can right-click on it, select Mark for installation, then after that, we can click on the Mark button for the additional required changes. Now to install Brutal Chess, we can click on the Apply button near the top left, and then we can click the second Apply button to confirm the install. When the install is done, we can click on the Close button in the Changes Applied window. Now to open Brutal Chess, we can go to the menu, and in the Games category, we can click on Brutal Chess. When Brutal Chess opens, it will not be full screen. To adjust the resolution of Brutal Chess and make it full screen, we can create a script. To do that, we can open up a terminal, and from a terminal we can first execute sudo space nano space /usr/bin/go bc. This will use the nano text editor to create a file called go bc in the /usr/bin file path. From here we can type in brutal chess space -f space -z space 1024x768 space right angle bracket, space keep last.txt. This will make Brutal Chess full screen and it will set the resolution to 1024 by 768. For a list of the possible resolutions we can use with Brutal Chess, we can execute Brutal Chess space --help. From here to the right of the -z option, we should see a list of the possible resolutions we can use. The end of the command will keep a history of all the moves that are made in the last game that is played in a text file called keeplast.txt. To save a history of all the moves that are made from all the games that are played, then we could instead use 2 right angle brackets. Now when we are done creating this file, we can do Ctrl-O, Enter, and Ctrl-X to save the file and exit nano. Then from here we can execute sudo space chmod space +x space /usr/bin/go bc. This will make our go bc script executable so that we can use it. Now that we've done that, we can modify the launch command for Brutal Chess from the menu so that it uses our script. To do that, we can go to the menu, and in the Games category, we can right-click on Brutal Chess, and then select Properties. Then in the window that comes up, we can go to the Desktop Entry tab, and from here we can replace the already existing command with Go BC. This will set it up so that when we open Brutal Chess from the menu, it will use our Go BC script. When we are done doing that, we can click on the OK button to apply the change. After that, we can again open Brutal Chess by going to the menu, and in the Games category, we can click on Brutal Chess. This time, Brutal Chess will be full screen. To select a piece in Brutal Chess, we can do a left click on the piece we want to move, and then to move the piece, we can do another left click. To rotate the board, we can hold a right click and then drag the mouse. Finally, to get to the Brutal Chess menu, we can press the Escape key. Now, if there are letters missing from the menu, UIT means quit, which is how we can close out of Brutal Chess. Keep in mind that if you experience performance issues, then you can add the -R and -S options for disabling the reflections and shadows in Brutal Chess. Here I played some chess for a few minutes. Now when we are done playing with Brutal Chess, we can see a history of the moves we made in the last game we played by viewing the keeplast.txt file. To view the text file, we can open up a file manager, and the keeplast.txt file will be in the home directory. For this example, I opened up the text file with the mousepad text editor. So here we can see a list of all the moves that were made in the last game I played. Next, I am going to show how to use Xboard and Hoichess to play both chess and Chinese chess. For this example, I am installing Hoichess and Xboard with Synaptic Package Manager. Now to install Xboard, we can click on the search button from the top right, search by name for Xboard, then after that we can right-click on Xboard, select Mark for installation, then click on the Mark button for the additional required changes. After that, to install Xboard, we can click on the Apply button near the top left, and then click on the second Apply button to confirm the install. When that's done, we can click on the Close button in the Changes Applied window. To install Hoichess, we can click on the Search button from the top right, search by name for Hoichess. Then when Hoichess comes up, we can right-click on it and select Mark for installation. After that, we can click on the Apply button near the top left, then click the second Apply button to confirm the install. When that's done installing, we can click on the Close button in the Changes Applied window. Now to use Xboard and Hoichess to play chess, we will be creating a script. To do that, we can open up a terminal, and from a terminal we can first execute sudo space nano space /usr/bin/goc. This will use the nano text editor to create a file called goc in the /usr/bin file path. From here, I recommend copying and pasting the goc script from the pinned comment for this video. To do that, we can open up a browser and go to the video you are currently watching now, scroll down to the comment section, and from here we should see a top pinned comment containing the written instructions. To see the whole comment, click on Read More. From here we can scroll down to the Hoichess chess section where we will see the goc script. From here we can highlight the goc script, do Ctrl-C to copy it, then we can go back to our terminal, and then do Ctrl-Shift-V to paste the script. This script is all one command which uses Xboard to give us the board and Hoichess to give us the game engine. This also includes the file paths to where the pictures for the board and game pieces are located. When we are done creating the script, we can do Ctrl-O, Enter, and Ctrl-X to save the file and exit Nano. Then after that, we can execute sudo space chmod space +x /usr/bin/go/c. This will make our go-c script executable so that we can use it. Now to use the script, we can just execute go-c. From here we can resize the window to our liking. Note that if the window is suddenly blank or if there's a blank space on the side, then we can resize the window again and the board should reappear without any blank space. Now here I played some chess to demonstrate it working. Next, I am going to show how to set up Xboard and Hoichess so that we can play Chinese chess. Again, we will be creating a script. So if we do not have a terminal open already, we can open up a terminal, and then we can first execute sudo space nano space /usr/bin/go/cc. This will create a file called go/cc in the /usr/bin file path. Again, I recommend copying and pasting the script from the pinned comment from this video. So we can open up a browser and go to the video you are currently watching now. Scroll down to the comment section where there should be a top pinned comment containing the written instructions. And from here we can click on Read More to see the whole comment. After that, we can scroll down to the Hoichess Chinese chess section. And then from here we can highlight the script, do Ctrl+C to copy it. Then we can go back to the terminal. And then we can do Ctrl+Shift+V to paste the script. This script is also all one line. So this command uses Xboard to give us the board and then it uses Hoichess as the game engine. After that, the script points to where the pictures for the board and game pieces are located. When we are done creating the script, we can do Ctrl+O, Enter, and Ctrl+X to save the file and exit Nano. Then from here we can execute sudo space chmod space +x space /usr/bin/go/cc. This will make our script executable so that we can use it. After that, we can use the script by executing go/cc. From here we can resize the window to our liking. If resizing the window makes the board disappear or causes there to be a blank space on the side, we can again resize the window and the board will reappear without any blank space. Here I played some Chinese chess for a few minutes. Finally, for Japanese chess, we can install either Xshogi or Shogi Variants. For my example, I will be using Synaptic Package Manager. To install Xshogi, we can click on the search button from the top right. Then we can search by name for Xshogi. When Xshogi comes up, we can right-click on it, select Mark for installation, click the Mark button for the additional required changes. Then to install Xshogi, we can click on the Apply button near the top left, and then we can click on the second Apply button to confirm the install. When that's done installing, we can click on the Close button in the Changes Applied window. Now if we want to install Shogi Variants, we can click on the Search button from the top right, search by name for Shogi Var. Then from the search results, we can right-click on Shogi Var, select Mark for installation, click the Mark button for the additional required changes. Then to install Shogi Variants, we can click on the Apply button near the top left, and then click the second Apply button to confirm the install. When that's done, we can click on the Close button in the Changes Applied window. Now to open Xshogi, we can go to the menu, and in the Games category, we can click on Xshogi. For Xshogi, I recommend a skill that has a height of 840. For a video that covers how to set up scaling a Linux desktop on a Chromebook, I recommend watching my Linux desktop scaling on a Chromebook video. I will have that video linked in the pinned comment. To scale my desktop on a Chromebook, I am first going to close out of Xshogi. Then I'm going to go to the Chrome OS Terminal app. Then from the terminal, I'm going to execute go L space H space 840. So the height of my desktop will be 840. Once my desktop is up and running again, I am going to reopen Xshogi from the menu. This time when we open Xshogi, we can see that the symbols of the game pieces are much more clear than they were before. For PCs, we can instead scale the desktop by going to the menu, and in the Preferences category, we can select Monitor Settings. From Monitor Settings, we can see our current resolution. If the height of our current resolution is below 840, we can click on the Resolution dropdown, and then we can select a resolution that has a height of 840 or higher. Then to apply the new resolution, we can click on the Apply button, and then we can click on the OK button. Now when I open up Xshogi from the menu, the symbols on the game pieces are much more clear. If we'd like, we can customize Xshogi to have different colors and symbols. To do that, we can open a terminal, and from the terminal we can create a script for running Xshogi. To do that, we can first execute sudo space nano space /usr/bin/gojc. This will create a file called gojc in the /usr/bin file path. From here we can type in Xshogi space -pc space double quote pound sign and then 4 capital F's, 2 capital A's, double quote space -sc space yellow 4. So this will start up Xshogi with custom colors. -pc represents the piece color, which for this example is a light yellow color, and -sc represents the square color, which for this example is a green color. Keep in mind, we can express colors as hexadecimal numbers or with color names. To get a list of the possible color names we can use in Linux, we can execute show RGB space pipe space less. To exit out of the list of color names, press the Q key. Note that for hexadecimal colors, the first 2 numbers represent red, the middle 2 numbers represent green, and the last 2 numbers represent blue. These 3 pairs of numbers range from 00 to FF. This is the equivalent of 0 to 255. For more information about color and color tools in Linux, I recommend my Linux Colors on a Chromebook video, and for PCs, I recommend my Linux Colors on PCs and Laptops video. I will have those videos linked in the pinned comment. When we're done creating the script, we can do Ctrl-O, Enter, and Ctrl-X to save the file and exit Nano. After that, we can execute sudo space chmod space +x space /usr/bin/gojc. This will make our script executable so that we can use it. After that, we can use our script by executing gojc. This time our board will have a green color. Now if we want, we can change the pieces so that they have arrow icons that tell us the directions the pieces go in. To do that, we can first close out of Xshogi. Then from the terminal we can execute sudo space nano space /usr/bin/gojc. This will open up our gojc script with the nano text editor. Now first, I'm going to change the color of the pieces and the board as an example of customizing the colors. So for the color of the pieces, I'm going to change the hexadecimal to be 00AAFF. This will change the color of the pieces so they are blue. After that, I'm going to replace yellow 4 with gray. This will make the board gray. Now if we want the pieces to have the arrow icons, then at the end of the command, we can add space -WPS space true starting with a capital T. -WPS true specifies that we want to use the Western style pieces that show the directions the pieces go in. When we are done editing our script, we can do Ctrl-O, Enter, and Ctrl-X to save the file and exit Nano. And again, to start up Xshogi, we can execute gojc. Now this time the pieces will have the arrow icons. And because I changed the colors, my pieces are now blue and the board is gray. Later, near the end of this video, I will show how to get a solid color background. Here I am playing some Japanese chess to show what it looks like to play the game. Now to play Shogi Variants, we can go to the menu, and in the Debian category, we can go into Games, and then in the Board category, we can click on Shogi Variants. With Shogi Variants, we can play both modern and historical variants of Shogi. To select a variant, we can click on the Select Variant dropdown, and from here we can select the variant we want to play. For this example, I'm going to stick with the modern version. Then when we are all set, we can click on the play button. When playing with Shogi Variants, I recommend a resolution with a height of 600. Again, I will have my video for Linux desktop scaling on a Chromebook linked in the pinned comment. Now here I am playing some of the modern version of Shogi. Note that we can close out of Shogi Variants by doing Ctrl-Q on our keyboard. From here we can choose whether or not we want to save our preferences. For the chess and Chinese chess games that we started up with scripts, we can add them to the menu for convenience. To do that, we can first open up the PCMan-FM file manager, and then from here we can do Ctrl-H to show hidden files. Hidden files and folders are just files and folders that start with a dot in their name. From here we can go into the .local folder, then we can go into the share folder, and finally we can go into the applications folder. After that, we can go to the menu, and in the games category, we can right-click on Xboard, select Properties, and then in the window that comes up in the General tab, we can change the name to Xboard 2. Once we've done that, we can click on the OK button to apply the change. After that, we should see Xboard appear in the file manager. So anytime a menu item is edited, a copy of the .desktop file will be created in the home directory in the .local/share/applications file path. Now from here we are going to right-click on Xboard 2 from the file manager, select Properties, and then in the window that comes up in the General tab, we can change the name to Chess. After that, we can also change the icon that will be used in the menu by clicking on the current icon, and then in the window that comes up, we can select an icon. Now we can select an icon from the system icon theme, or we can select image files and then navigate to whatever image we would like to use for the menu icon. If we'd like to select one of the game piece images for chess, then we can click on File System from the list of places on the left side. Then we can go into the USR folder, and after that we can go into the Share folder. Then from here we can go into the Games folder, and in the Games folder we can go into the Xboard folder. After that we can go into the Themes folder, and finally we can go into the Default folder. From here we can select an image of one of the chess pieces. Once we have selected an image for the menu icon for chess, we can click on the OK button from the bottom right. Finally, from the File Properties window, we can go to the Desktop Entry tab, and from here we can replace the already existing command with GoC. So now it will use our GoC script to start up chess. When we are done making those modifications, we can click on the OK button to save our changes. Now if we go to the menu and look in the Games category, we will see our chess game. Now while we see that we created a menu entry for chess, we can also see that Xboard is now missing. To fix that, we can open a terminal, and then from a terminal we can execute cd:/.local/share/applications. Note that the tilde represents the home directory. So in the home directory, this will take us into the .local/share/applications file path. From here we can execute ls to list the files and folders. And here we can see the xboard.desktop file. Now here we are going to execute mv xboard.desktop chess.desktop. This will rename the xboard.desktop file to chess.desktop. Once we've done that, we can execute ls again to list the files and folders, And here we can confirm that the Xboard.desktop file has been renamed to chess.desktop. So now if we go back to the menu and look in the games category, we can see that both chess and Xboard are now there. So if we click on chess from the menu, our GoC script will be executed, which will start up chess. Now we can repeat this process for Chinese chess. So first, I am going back to the file manager to view the .local/share/applications file path in the home directory. Then after that, we can go to the menu, and in the games category, we can right-click on Xboard again, select Properties, and in the window that comes up under the General tab, we can change the name to Xboard 2. Once we've done that, we can click on the OK button. And again from the File Manager, Xboard should appear. Now from the File Manager, we can right-click on Xboard 2, select Properties, and in the window that comes up in the General tab, we can change the name to Chinese Chess. After that, we can change the icon that will be used in the menu by clicking on the current icon, and then in the window that comes up, we can choose a different icon. Again, if we would like to select an icon that is not a part of the system icon theme, we can select Image Files, and from here we can choose whatever image we would like. To choose an image of one of the Chinese chess game pieces, we can click on File System from the list of places on the left. Then from here we can go into the USR folder, then go into the Share folder. After that, go into the Games folder. Then from the Games folder, we can go into the Xboard folder. And after that, we can go into the Themes folder. And lastly, we can go into the folder for Chinese chess. From here, we can choose an image of one of the Chinese chess game pieces. Once we have selected an image, we can click on the OK button from the bottom right. Finally, in the File Properties window, we can go to the Desktop Entry tab, and then we can replace the existing command with GoCC. So now this will use our script for starting up Chinese chess. When we are done making those changes, we can click on the OK button to apply the changes. Now if we go to the menu and look in the Games category, we should see a menu entry for Chinese chess. Again, we can also see that Xboard is also missing from the menu. So we can again fix this by going back to our terminal, and from the terminal we can execute ls to list the files and folders, and here Xboard.desktop should be listed. After that, we can execute mv space Xboard.desktop space cchess.desktop. This will rename the Xboard.desktop file to cchess.desktop. From here we can execute ls to list the files, where we can then verify that we changed the name of the file to cchess.desktop. Now if we go back to the menu and look in the Games category, we will see both Chinese Chess and Xboard. And if we click on Chinese Chess from the menu, our GoCC script will be executed, which will start up Chinese Chess. So now we can easily start up chess and Chinese chess from the menu. In addition to that, we can modify the existing Xshogi menu entry so that it uses our GoJC script. To do that, we can go to the menu, and in the Games category, we can right-click on Xshogi, select Properties, and then in the window that comes up, we can go to the Desktop Entry tab, replace the already existing command with GoJC, and once we've done that, we can click on the OK button to apply the change. After that, we can start up Xshogi by going to the menu, and in the Games category, we can click on Xshogi. Now this time, when Xshogi is launched from the menu, it will use our GoJC script that configures the game with custom colors. Finally, I am going to show how we can get a solid color background when we are playing a game. To do that, we can first open up a terminal, and from the terminal we will first install the Xterm terminal if it is not already installed. To do that, we can first execute sudo space apt space update space -y. This will update the software index list. After that, we can execute sudo space apt space install space xterm space -y. This will install the Xterm terminal, which is what we are going to use to create a solid color background. Now that we have Xterm installed, we are going to create a script to create a solid black background. To do that, we can execute sudo space nano space /usr/bin/go black. This will use the nano text editor to create a file called go black in the /usr/bin file path. From here we can type in xterm space -maximized space -fullscreen space -bg space black space -fg space black space -cr space black. This will start up a Xterm terminal window in full screen, and the background, text, and cursor will all be black. When we are done typing that in, we can do Ctrl-O, Enter, and Ctrl-X to save the file and exit nano. Then from here we can execute sudo space chmod space +x space /usr/bin/go black. This will make our go black script executable so that we can use it. Now we can use our script by executing go black. Once we've done that, our whole screen should be black. To toggle full screen in Xterm, we can do Alt-Enter on our keyboard. Now even though we can't see what we are typing, we can still type in go see, press enter, and our chess game will start up. So now we have a black background, but the bottom panel is still visible. To hide the bottom panel, we can right-click on the bottom panel, select Panel Settings, and then in the window that comes up, we can go to the Advanced tab, and from here, under Automatic Hiding, we can check Minimize Panel when not in use. Once we've done that, we can click on the Close button. So now the bottom panel is no longer visible. Next, we can also go a step further and get rid of the top window border. To do that, we can right-click on the top window border for the chess game, and then select Un/Decorate. Now we can resize the chess window to make it take up as much space as possible. Note that we can move a window that doesn't have a window border by doing Alt F7 and then hold a left click and drag the mouse. Keep in mind, we can also restore the window border by moving the mouse to one of the corners of the window, and while the mouse icon is set to the icon that shows we can resize the window, we can right-click and then select Un/Decorate to restore the window border. Here I closed out of the chess game, and then we can also exit out of the Xterm terminal by executing exit. Now we can also create a script to create a solid color background with a given color. To do that, from a terminal we can execute sudo space nano space /usr/bin/go color. This will use the nano text editor to create a file called go color in the /usr/bin file path. From here we can type in xterm space -maximized space -fullscreen space -bg space $1 space -fg space $1 space -cr space $1. This will start up an Xterm terminal in full screen, and the background, text, and cursor color will be set to the given input when we execute the script. The given input is represented by $1. When we are done creating the script, we can do Ctrl-O, Enter, and Ctrl-X to save the file and exit nano. Then from here we can execute sudo space chmod space +x space /usr/bin/go color. This will make our go color script executable so that we can use it. Now from here we can execute go color space the color we would like the background to be. For my example, I am setting the color to Deep Sky Blue 4. Note that we can use either a color name or hexadecimal color. If we use a hexadecimal color, it needs to be surrounded in quotes and it has to start with a $sign. Now this time I am going to start up Chinese chess by executing go cc, and then I'm going to press enter. Again, we can get rid of the top window border by right-clicking on the top window border, and select Un/Decorate. So here I am resizing the Chinese chess window so it takes up as much of the screen as possible. Again, we can move a window that doesn't have a window border by doing Alt F7 and then hold a left click and drag the mouse. So now we can create a background with a custom solid color. Note that we can get as crazy as we'd like with colors. Here I changed the colors of Xshogi and also used the -BG background and -FG foreground options to change the background and foreground of Xshogi. For more information about colors in Linux, I recommend watching my Linux Colors on a Chromebook video, and for PCs, I recommend my Linux Colors on PCs and Laptops video. These videos also include how to use the gpick tool to pick colors, generate color schemes, and more. Here I have listed the different ways we can get help for Brutal Chess, Hoichess, Xboard, Xshogi, and the Shogi Variants programs. All of this will also be included in the pinned comment for this video. For more information about the different variations of chess, I recommend starting at Wikipedia. Keep in mind there are many forms of chess and chess variants available from stores such as Amazon. Some chess games can be downloaded, such as Duchess. Two books I find particularly interesting are A World of Chess and The Chess Mysteries of Sherlock Holmes. Companion books to my series of videos are available. I will have those linked in the pinned comment. And that's all for this video, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon!